Let's go. Never mind. I'll find a new route. Keep left. Keep left. Okay, let's find a new route. Go straight on. Recomputing. Go straight on. Keep right and then exit right. Exit right. Go straight on. Keep right and then exit right. Exit right. Go straight on. Keep right. Exit right. Rerouting. Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right. Go straight on.
email response times, and handle complaints quicker. But in Scottish Power, we're not standing still. We're going to keep setting standards that are higher and higher and higher.
For details, go to citizensadvice.org.uk. Large suppliers include those with a market share of at least 5% in either gas or electricity.
Matthew Wright on LBC. Listen on your smart speaker. Just say, play LBC.
I'm tempted by a message from Point. So, Matthew, please let the anti-vax experts speak so we can hear them soil themselves in public. Maybe perhaps on another day. Heaven nightclub has been, it's an institution, especially for us Londoners. It's been around for as long as I've been going out on the town. And I must admit, I've always had some really good fun, excellent nights there. But the club has been closed on public safety grounds after a raid was reported. The Force has applied to Westminster Council to suspend the licence at the venue, which is on Villiers Street in the West End, until a full hearing can take place. The circumstances leading up to it are troubling. At an initial hearing on Friday, the Westminster Council was told a woman was allegedly raped in the vicinity of the venue by a member of the security staff on the 1st of November. And the Met has confirmed a member of security staff was arrested and charged with rape and is currently on remand in prison. And I've got one more piece of information which I think is pertinent, which I can share before I go to my guest who knows a lot more. And that was that when the woman apparently tried to report this alleged attack, it's claimed that other staff ignored her. Heaven is owned by Jeremy Joseph, someone I've known for a very long time, a major figure on the London gay scene. And I'm joined by Benjamin Butterworth, journalist and LGBT campaigner. Good morning to you, Benjamin.
Morning, Matthew.
This is a troubling story. What more can you tell us?
Well, I think the concern is, as you just outlined, that 2 points in what the Met Police have put out, which is that there was an alleged incident of a person attending that was beaten up earlier in the year, in May, and then also that this woman who alleges rape tried to report that and it wasn't dealt with. I think in the context, for people to know, Heaven nightclub is an enormous place. It has the capacity of about 1,500 people. Often the queue to get in goes all the way round up Trafalgar Square, which is where it's located. It can be another 1,000 people in that queue when they have a big artist there, and so it can be quite a chaotic place. So they have a lot of security on the venue, and it also has, I would say, not a reputation for this kind of misconduct that's accused, but you will find, if you look online, a lot of people in the LGBT community who feel that the security of the venue are heavy-handed, that it's over the top at times, and it has a reputation for that. And so I think there is maybe a concern from the Met Police that this isn't the first time they've had a troubling claim about the conduct of security at the venue.
Now, we don't have Jeremy Joseph here to respond. I'm assuming you've interviewed him over the years?
Yeah, during the pandemic, I spent many hours on the phone to Jeremy Joseph talking about the industry during COVID. And I have to say, you obviously know him as well. I found him to be professional, to be serious, to be extremely good at understanding the industry. And actually, because this is below Charing Cross train station in central London, it actually has to have a really large amount of policing. So they have to undertake things like terrorism protection, because it's a target for potential bombs and terrorist attacks. So the level of policing and security that the venue has is quite serious. And when I've interviewed the owner of the club, I've found him to be very aware of that. In fact, I remember him saying that it takes a real strain on his mental health that there is such a risk with a venue like this. And so, my impression of him has never been one that the owner doesn't take this seriously. But what you've got here is not just an appalling alleged crime, but you've got what looks like a team of people not taking it seriously. And I think that's where the concern comes in.
Do we know how long a closure this could be? I mean, could it be permanent?
Well, the closure will be for 28 days, and if you think about the time of year coming into December, that's probably a serious hit to their profits. Now, Heaven is a pretty profitable nightclub. It fills out on Friday and Saturday and often Thursday nights. But that's a significant blow, and I know that the owner has thought about selling in recent years, but the fear has been that if he sold it, it wouldn't remain an LGBT venue. And so the nights are, the 4 former Knight Czar, Amy LeMay, she has come out and said that she thinks this is an example of institutional homophobia, that the 28-day closure, or up to 28 days, is harsher than is applied to other venues. And the context for that is that Charing Cross Police Station, which is the local police force to the club, was found to be institutionally homophobic and sexist and racist in a report by the Met recently. So there is a suggestion that maybe it's been treated more harshly because of issues like that.
Benjamin Butterworth, not for the first time, thank you very much for some excellent reportage, thank you. And just to round off, I've got a statement here from Jeremy Joseph, the club's owner, via, I think it was on Facebook. Following an allegation that a security guard sexually assaulted a woman who'd been refused entry to Heaven nightclub, Westminster Council has suspended Heaven's premises licence, which means we have to close until further notice. We're considering our position with regard to an appeal. We are sickened by this allegation, but can't comment as it's an ongoing criminal investigation. We can only send our thoughts to the alleged victim. Our priority is to put new procedures in place to make sure nothing like this can happen again and regain the confidence of the council as we move forward. We cannot comment further, but we'll update soon. OK, thank you, Benjamin. Let's return to the question of which direction the UK should travel towards the US and perhaps a trade deal via Donald Trump, or back to the arms of the EU. Sabri's on the line from Hampstead. Morning, Sabri.
Good morning to you.
Morning. Which choice do you think Keir Starmer would be most likely to take?
Like I said before, it is important that we have elected our own party that wants to lead us. We elected Keir Starmer to lead the country. He did elect a cabinet, and everything has been approved so far. The business has started. We think that we should decide what is the best of interest of UK at the moment, which is relation with the European Union and relation with the United States. Mm-hmm. It is very important to make everyone aware, to be aware of ourselves that we have the very vicious war next door to us, which is quite far from the United States. Of course, we need all our partners in Europe, whether it's to do with the economy or to do with security, to work with them together.
Do you think it's possible? I mean, I don't think it's going to be possible with Donald Trump in the White House to have both a cosy relationship with the EU, which we don't have at the moment, but to regain one, and a cosy relationship with the United States. I think we're going to have to choose.
Well, indeed, we have to choose, but the thing is that United States itself, they are living in uncertainty with Donald Trump coming to power. And I think on that, they have to first choose, come on power by Donald Trump and decide what he's going to do, make it clear what he wants, and then we can act accordingly. We cannot do today what they want tomorrow to do it.
Do you think Keir Starmer, I think this is the question I'm most interested in, perhaps we'll do it again another weekend, is do you think Keir Starmer should put a choice to the country, not necessarily in a referendum, but just to clearly explain to us that Parliament has to wrestle with a choice about which direction we're going to go in? Do you think he should do that?
I don't think so. I think what Keir Starmer should act as we are now doing. Not necessarily what is going to be tomorrow with the United States. If tomorrow United States change the way they run the country...
But Sabri, we do it. There's $300 billion worth of trade from the UK to the US, okay? If he slaps tariffs on, which is talk of 10 to 20% tariffs on all goods coming in, the cost to UK industry is £22 billion, according to Sussex University. So the cost of doing nothing is £22 billion just with the US. The cost of doing nothing with the Europe is £100 billion every year. So £122 billion a year is the cost of doing nothing. No wonder this country's going broke. You know, we have to make a move. We have to stop. We have to stop this, don't we? And actually, and secure our economy, secure trade for the future. And that does involve making a choice, Sabri.
Well, like I said, we're making a choice. We're making a choice to stay with the United States and the European Union at the moment, working close relation, whether it's to do with economy or security. We don't know what the United States is going to be tomorrow.
We don't. But Donald Trump has said he likes tariffs, so don't say you weren't warned, Sabri, because I think we have been. Fascinating conversation. I'm still thinking about what our diplomat told us in the first hour about the precarious hardest choice that Keir Starmer must make. Let's hope he makes the right one. Thanks for all your calls and texts on that, but we've got to move on because I'm feeling peckish. Okay, bring it down. No, first things first. I've never heard that song before. It's disgusting. No wonder Generation Z is so screwed up. It was apparently the 2003 hit classic, The Fast Food Song. Why are we playing it? Well, I'm reliably informed that the British obesity crisis is costing the UK government not 30 or 40 billion a year, as we previously thought, but 250 billion pounds a year. The junk food crisis is costing more than the entire NHS budget and shows no sign of slowing down yet. So, what do we need to stop us fattening up? How can we slim this country down? Do we need to get rid of bog-off deals on junk food, scrap junk food advertising, or go even further? Give us a call with your thoughts, hungry or otherwise.
On your radio, on Global Player, and
Play LBC.
leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC.
From Global's newsroom at 9 o'clock, Sir Keir Starmer will hail a path of change as he gives his first address to the Welsh Labour Conference as Prime Minister later. He's expected to confirm £160 million of investment for Wrexham and Flintshire next year. The Prime Minister says it's a game changer to have Labour governments in both Wales and Westminster.
4.5 months ago in the general election, Labour did really well. So that is a measure of the strength of feeling in Wales. Our job is to deliver for people in Wales, and delivery is what I'm absolutely focused on, what the Welsh Government is focused on.
Volodymyr Zelensky has criticised the German Chancellor for speaking by phone to Vladimir Putin. Ukraine's president accused Olaf Scholz of opening a Pandora's box and undermining efforts to keep Putin isolated. But Ukrainian MP Alexei Goncharenko told LBC it all depends on what the pair talked about.
It would be naive to think that Western leaders will not contact Putin. I find it quite unavoidable that it will happen. And the question is what was discussed. If it was discussed about pressure on Putin, that I would appreciate very much.
Mr. Scholz is understood to have urged Russia's president to open peace negotiations with Kyiv. The owner of London's Heaven nightclub's considering appealing after Westminster Council suspended its licence. The decision was made yesterday after a member of the club's security staff was charged with rape. Heaven, which can't operate without a licence, has said it's sickened by the allegation. 80% of staff at state schools say they're seeing more children turning up with poor personal hygiene. This can include unbrushed teeth, dirty uniforms or head lice. Sarah Smith, the head teacher of a primary in Blackburn, she's had a washing machine installed in school to help.
When families really struggle, when they are finding it impossible to make ends meet, whether that is because they have struggled to find a job or that their job has low pay, then there are things that have to give, and there are families in our schools that do not want to have to ask school to help, but they're finding the need to.
The government says tackling child poverty is one of its top priorities. Former world heavyweight champion Mike Tyson has been defeated by a 27-year-old YouTuber in his first professional fight for 19 years. The 58-year-old lost to Jake Paul by a unanimous points decision after 8 rounds. LBC weather, rather cloudy for England and Wales with outbreaks of rain. Brighter for Scotland and Northern Ireland with scattered showers. Highs today of 12 degrees from Global's newsroom for LBC. I'm Jenny Barsby.
Got an unexpected message, phone call or email that claims to be from HMRC? Take care. It could be a criminal pretending to be us. To protect yourself, never rush to share personal information or part with your money. Learn to recognise signs of a scam, such as being put under pressure to share bank details. And if something seems fishy, report it to HMRC straight away by searching HMRC scams on gov.uk. Protect, recognise, report.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Matthew Wright.
You'll have to forgive me, I've just been distracted by the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, the closing images of the bout, and apart apart from the fact that I don't like boxing and I particularly don't like seeing a rapist profit from his name. But Mike Tyson, he's an elderly man. And then I just think, well, it just doesn't seem right. You know, some young guy smacking around an elderly bloke, even if it's an elderly bloke with a checkered past. But then it was pointed out that Mike Tyson's actually a year younger than me. So Mike Tyson, as far as I'm concerned, is a spring chicken, a fine man. He should have done better. Right, let's move on to junk food addiction. How much do you think our addiction to junk food is costing the country? If you've been paying attention over the last year or so, you'd have heard me referencing how obesity is expected to cost the NHS £6 billion a year, rising to £10 billion a year by 2050. And with the NHS annual budget coming in, I think it's £190 million for this year. The cost of feasting on junk food, you might think, is around 2 or 3% of that budget. Wrong. According to a new report from the Food, Farming and Countryside Commission, the true cost of our addiction to burgers, fried food, pizza, sugar, bog-off deals and fizzy pop outstrips the entire NHS budget. Addiction to junk food cost the UK £268 billion every year. £268 billion. How is that possible? Well, this figure has emerged from the first academic research looking at the total cost of Britain's increasing consumption of junk food. Of the £268 billion, £92 billion covers the direct costs of the government of tackling the impacts of what the Commission calls Britain's unhealthy food system. And that includes £67.5 billion spending on the NHS, $14 billion on social care services, just over £10 billion on welfare, tackling the diseases most closely linked to diet, such as type 2 diabetes, heart problems and kidney disease. The other £176 billion is the indirect cost of our junk food addiction, of lost productivity from people too sick to work due to diet-related illnesses. That tops $116 billion a year. And there are other human costs such as pain and early death, £60 billion a year. According to Professor Tim Jackson, an economist at the University of Surrey who undertook the research for the Commission, the £268 billion cost is staggering. I was shocked by how high it was when I arrived at it. £268 billion, says Professor Jackson, is a very, very conservative estimate of these costs. Jeepers. Far from keeping us well, he continues, our current food system, with its undue deference to what is known colloquially as big food, is making us sick. The costs of trying to manage that sickness are rapidly becoming unpayable. Jackson's calculations are based on his analysis of a range of publications and projections by our government, by international bodies like the UN's Food and Agriculture Organisation and think tanks like the Institute for Fiscal Studies. It covers state spending, the cost of treating chronic diseases, those closely associated with bad diet. Households across the UK would have to spend an extra £38 a week or £57 billion a year on top of the £101 billion a year they already spend to ensure that everyone followed the healthy diet outlined in the government's Eat Well Guide. I don't know if you've seen the Eat Well Guide. I was unaware of it until a few hours ago. It's basically a pie chart showing the 5 main food groups and is designed to persuade us to increase our intake of vegetables, fruit, fibre and reduce our intake of crisp snacks and sauces. Now, I mean, the figures are huge. It's how we change and adapt to them, because Jackson's findings are going to increase the pressure on Keir Starmer, I would suggest, to step up action to limit consumption of unhealthy food.
Keep right,
to fulfill
and
his
then
promise
exit
to tackle
right.
Britain's increasingly sick population, revive the crisis-hit
Exit
NHS. Now,
right.
Labour wants to eradicate smoking, has pledged to ban junk food advertising on TV before 9 and energy drink sales to under 16s. But this story's also made me reflect on some of the decisions by past Tory governments. I mean, Boris Johnson's decision during COVID to allow supermarkets to continue to offer buy one, get one free deals on unhealthy foods. And the argument then was that families, couldn't afford to go without these deals on unhealthy foods in a time of sort of national crisis. But as a direct result of buy one, get one free deals on unhealthy foods, we are in a national crisis that is going to cost us a pretty penny. So what can we or should we be doing? It strikes me that we need both an immediate short-term and a long-term approach. Long-term, we need better education, don't we? And not just in schools, which I think are doing a great job, But maybe a return to the kind of Sure Start centres that last Labour government did so well with. I was talking to some mums today or yesterday, and they were saying that they're very much in favour. I'll be honest, I'm more interested in what we need to do right now in the short term, because the sugar tax on fizzy pop is widely seen as a success story because it persuaded manufacturers to cut down on the amount of the sweet stuff they put in their cans and bottles voluntarily, rather than risking their sugary products become more expensive through the tax. I think we need more of that kind of thinking. I know some people fear a health tax on food will result only in food becoming more expensive, but I would like to think that manufacturers might voluntarily improve their menus, the ingredients that go into their foods, to keep them affordable and healthy. Bog-off deals on unhealthy food, they've got to go, in my opinion. There's no excuse, making people choose unhealthy foods by making them ridiculously cheap. I mean, that's nothing short of evil, isn't it? Unhealthy foods by checkouts, they've got to go. I know that the supermarket said they've done it, but my local supermarket still has loads of snacks and crisps close to the checkouts. And if we're serious about getting healthy, we've got to be serious about helping the NHS. The junk advertising has to go completely, has it not? I mean, why are we advertising, junk food? We do it on this station, we do it on TV. If we are serious about making this country healthy, if we're serious about reducing that bill, £268 billion a year, we got to do something. But what? 0345 6060 973 is the number for your thoughts. Do you rely on bog-off deals? If you do, I'd love to hear how you would cope without them. Are you aware of the Eat Well campaign? I must admit, I didn't know about it, Tourist. What can we do in the short term? What do we need to do in the long term? Jane Deville Armand is president of the British Obesity Society and joins me first. Morning, Jane.
Good morning, Matthew. God, that sounds depressing, doesn't it?
Well, I'm glad you said it. I've been covering the sort of obesity crisis for the best part of 25 years, and this figure of 268 billion literally dwarfs what I've previously been led to believe the true cost was. I mean, it dwarfs it 2 to 3. It's about. It's got to be 30 times higher than I was imagining.
Yeah, I don't think it surprises us. It doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, I've been working in it exactly as long as you've been banging on about it, if that's 25 years. And, you ask why we're advertising foods. Well, I mean, it's all about money, isn't it?
Yes.
The revenue from advertising foods. You guys probably rely heavily, anybody in TV, everybody, we rely heavily on advertising things. And, who wants to advertise a sprout? It's boring, isn't it? Nobody wants to, it's not going to bring in any revenue. So, that's the first thing.
You say that, Jane, you say that. Just Kevin McCullough, that's a vegetable that has been... it's a step, isn't it?
Definitely a step.
Yeah.
The thing that frustrates me...
Never mind.
And they've done
I'll
it
find
again
a new
in the
route.
Guardian. They keep on saying that it's expensive to eat healthily, that it's cheaper to eat unhealthily. That's just rubbish. The fact is that we no longer know how to cook simple foods. Honestly, you can go to... In fact, I did it the other day just for a trial because I'm fed up of people saying the same thing over and over again. You can go to any marketplace, any supermarket actually, and buy enough vegetables. Forget the meat. I know people don't want to become vegetarian, but just vegetables alone, they could do stews and stocks and soups and things like that. For a family of 4, you can buy it for £10 or £11. Most marketplaces have big bowls of, fresh fruit and veg.
Okay.
A pound a bowl.
Point totally taken. I could come up with some of the excuses that some of my colleagues have offered immediately.